Hey, what's going on, my friends? It's your boy, Dave Sharpe here. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. We've got another amazing episode, a legendary episode. That's at least what it will turn into as they talk about this episode for many, many months and years to come. I'm projecting that into the future. Yes. We have a lot of momentum happening right now, and we want to just keep building on it. Okay. Within our community. So let's welcome Kristie to the show. Kristie, what is going on?
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Where are you calling in from?
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Okay, cool. We're taking our daughter to Vegas here in a couple of months, and we're gonna a couple of weeks. Oh my gosh, holy crap! My wife just told me where I had to be. You know, I never really know until I wake up that morning.
Get it?
You get it, yeah. So, tell us, what in the heck, a crazy bunch of weirdos here at Legendary. Why you think you might fit in with us, and what were you looking for? What's your legendary story?
So, one, I'm probably the biggest weirdo of the bunch. I was let me just start with corporate America. I did it for 24 years. Working in education, colleges, built teams, 12-hour days.
Wow.
I grinded.
Wow.
So education's always
in
been
the education industry. Wow. Okay. Maybe we'll come back to that, but I'll put a little note on that. Very interesting. Continue.
Mm-hmm. So November of last year, I walked away. I quit. Just done. I was a corporate drone for many, many years. And, I have 3 children, 11, 13, and soon to be 15. So, like many other people, just on TikTok for no reason other than stupid videos.
to escape our realities, right? I mean,
pretty
geez
much.
Louise. I mean, I think that's why we're all there in the first place.
Yeah. And then I came across this, and here we are.
Right?
I was scrolling and came across a girl named Jessica, and the rest is history. I just I knew that I had one requirement after leaving corporate, and that was to work from home. I wanted to be home with my kids. I had missed so many moments with them, so many.
Yeah.
And it said click the link in the bio. She was earning income. That's now a hat. Click the link in the bio. I was at Target the other day, and a guy had it on his hat.
Oh, I know, right? What a clever little thing, right? Because don't you get tired of saying it? It's just like just have it on your hat. That way you never have to say it. Brilliant.
Yeah, you're just like right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it fit with me. This whole journey has been about me gaining confidence, knowing that I can do it, and to think it's on TikTok, and not having to recruit family and friends. I was like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Have you done some recruiting of family and friends in the past? You speak as though you have experience.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, Mary Kay.
That's it? Only one? You were one and done?
Yeah, it's all I could hack.
Okay. Wow. I mean, most people have one that they talk about and 100 that they don't,
Yeah, that's done.
Wow. So, good for you. And yeah, you don't have to recruit friends and family. What's that been like? I mean, what's that anonym? Well, I guess it's anonymity, right? In a sense, right? It's also, there's also an element that I love about it, which is you really don't have to ask anybody, or you don't need anybody to help you do it, or you know what I mean? Like, not anybody within your support circle. You don't have to go to them and really ask them for anything. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if I'm on my phone, I'm not like, I know I've always been screwing around on my phone, but if I'm on my phone, like from this point forward, I'm probably working. That's like that. So like, just don't assume that I'm screwing around. That's all we want from our friends and family. So it's a little bit kind of refreshing. Might be hard to get that from children sometimes, of course, and that's not expected. But so talk to us about what happened next. You stumbled across the video. Somebody said click the link in the bio. Here you are. you're getting on a slippery slide. Where did you slide? Where did you slide to next? Okay, because you had no idea where you were going, what you were getting into, right? I mean, you're just clicking a link. Some girl said she was making money from the internet, and here you are, corporate America. You want out. You watch what happens next. You get on her email list. Do you buy right away?
So I did. I purchased the training right away. That's just kind of my mindset. My mindset has always been a little impulsive. And I thought, what do I have to lose at this point? I think the hardest shift for me was being an expert in what I was doing. Like, I could talk all day about vocational schools and, about diploma programs and degree programs. But going into this day one, I was like, what in the world is going on? And it really, you feel like a fish out of water. So I watched it a couple times, no lie. And then, Darren was my business advisor, but at the time I didn't know that. I scheduled the call right away. I did everything it was supposed to tell me to do. Right.
Okay.
So I did. And I thought, I can't do this. I was like, what in the world? But then, I got on the call with Darren. Darren opened day 2 and the 4 core. And I was like, okay, now I'm super lost. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. And I thought, you know what? I started it. I need to keep going. And then you can imagine day 3 happened. I won't go through all the days and the craziness, but day 3 was like, let's build a sales funnel. And I was like, what's a sales funnel? I mean, you really feel so crazy. But man, once I got it and I understood the whole concept and things started to come together. And I watched this show religiously, Wake Up Legendary. And if I could tell anybody anything, I love it. But if I could tell anybody anything,
I'm like the new age Johnny Carson and stuff. You know what I mean? I just need a cigarette,
I love it. I love it. Who's your Ed McMahon, right? Yeah, right. But if I could tell anybody anything, it's that you will feel lost probably for the first 4 days. But it really, how it progresses, it starts to make more and more and more sense. But the funny thing is I took the whole month of December. I really did. I left in November, found this in December, took December to learn it, and posted my very first video January 9th. Oh, man, that video is horrific. But it got me out of my comfort zone, and I realized that I could do it. And there's more stories to this, even that. Like, I'm 3 weeks in, TikTok banned me. So I was like, there's my sign. I'm not supposed to do it. Yeah. And I've befriended someone making money with Amy, who's fantastic. I love her. I hope she's watching. She's a game changer. But I called her and I said, listen, I'm not doing this. That's my sign. Swear to God. Swear to God. My TikTok has banned me. That lasted 2 hours. I got off my pity party and I started again. And I'm seeing success, and it's about having patience and consistency and understanding that we do this for free. We recommend things and people and businesses for free. That's what we do. Making money online is a shift in your mindset. It is. It's a complete shift. It's crazy, right? It's to think that you can do it.
Yeah.
But I was having a conversation with my husband the other day, and I said, in 1982, 1992, 9-to-5s were really built for brick and mortars. That's really why we have them. You go into a building, you do your 9-to-5, which is really, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Or factories.
Exactly. And that's why they were there. There was no thought process for digital anything.
No.
And now we have to shift over and say, we buy groceries and clothes and shoes. And I mean, everything is electronic, everything. So if you're not doing this business, whatever it is, it's not just affiliate marketing. It's everything.
Yeah.
You're missing a great opportunity to be able to earn money.
And your future, very well said, but your future, think about your future, and where do you think the world's going to? Back to brick and mortar? No.
No.
We're going back to brick and mortar, people. We're gonna all go back. I mean, the moment that it's amazing because I'm not gonna say it because I don't want our video to get flagged. But the big thing that happened in 2020, that lasted for many, 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 what felt like years.
Mhm.
Um, well, you know, the when we canceled our office, like our actual office, because our lease came up during the middle of it,
Mhm.
my wife and I came and bought a cottage, and now we work out of that. That's close to our home, and it was the one of the biggest stressors that we were able to release.
Yeah.
In our not only and not even financially, just going there, just
Mhm.
going there, just
Mhm.
having to share bathrooms with people, and when all kinds of stuff was circulating around, who we didn't know anything, and people weren't doing what we agreed with, and we felt vulnerable, and it was just crazy. I mean,
Mhm.
actually cutting that last tentacle that
Yeah.
that that was kind of had its hook into my wife and I, just
Mhm.
because we own a business, and even though it's digital, we had the physical front. Really, only the reason why I got that many moons ago was because I wanted to have a physical office, because that was how we could be more legitimate,
Mhm.
honestly, because we're
Mhm.
a digital business, to have a physical storefront. But, when everybody got sent home and now everybody realizes they don't want to leave home,
Mhm.
all of a sudden we look like the rock stars over here, us internet
Yeah.
marketers. Everybody wants to make money online. Um,
Yeah.
would you talk to us a little bit about your you said it's crazy. I can only imagine
Mhm.
what you're thinking and experiences as you're going through this education, and you're getting right started with a new path and a new career, coming from university, the industry of traditional education, where what we're doing over here of moving fast, learning fast, acting fast, even making money and getting out into the marketplace fast,
Mhm.
is very, very rare on over here in the traditional education,
Mhm.
at least in my experience, right? We get a degree at minimum, an associate's. And even with trade school, that requires a significant amount and a graduation.
Mhm.
Would you talk to us a little bit about like what you're thinking and feeling with these two different education styles?
You know, I went from, if I could just sum it up this way, I went from my 24 years in corporate as an expert, and I had to go back or come to this as a student. Truthfully, I had to learn, right? It's a
Mhm.
scary, scary process. But for me personally, I just said to myself, it really is a mind. I keep saying mindset, because mindset is the core of everything you do. It just is. And so coming over to this, I was moving at that pace, Dave. I was like going with you guys in that training. I was, but I had to slow down, and I had to take a breath, and I had
Mm,
to say, take the advice you told your students, Kristie, which was simple. I would have people come in to the nursing program and say, Kristie, I don't even know how to do an injection. And I'm like, that's why you're going to school. You're not supposed to know. So I had to bring it back to the student element of it, to learn it and really sever ties with corporate, meaning that mindset,
mm.
a drone mindset. And that's really how I describe myself. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but that's really what I had
Yeah,
to do. I had to sever it.
no
I had
wrong
to,
answer.
you're done at corporate. I have to come over here. I have to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm a forever student,
Mm,
but just slow down. I think that people, when trying to learn a new skill, try to transfer over skills they've had into this, and you can't. You just got to go sever, the ties, sever the thoughts and the old things that you've been doing and learn all the new. So I did struggle a little bit. And I think that's why I've come out the gate a little bit slower. And that's okay with me because I want to not master everything, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm absorbing everything.
Yeah. And
But
everybody struggles.
yeah.
You just said something that's I don't want I want to normalize the struggle. The
Mhm,
struggle is the struggle, and everybody has a struggle. So,
mhm,
somebody who's listening to this right now just heard, well, I struggled for, um, they heard, well, you're going to struggle for a couple of days, or you're going to struggle at the
mhm,
beginning, or everybody struggles. I still struggle. We're like, I'm going through this thing right now where, um, they changed all the rules for this award thing here that I'm doing, and just, oh my God, it put all this pressure on me here within 24 hours to rewrite this thing and do all this stuff. And man, I just had a moment where I was like, you know what? I don't even, how we really tell ourselves some real slippery little bullshit.
mhm,
I was like, I don't even need this. I don't even want this. I don't even need this. We start going
mhm,
into I don't need them. I don't need this, all kinds of, for me, it used to be, there used to be more of the kind of self-criticism, like you're not good enough. And I've worked a
mhm,
lot on that. And so now I can come up with other more, kind of F it style excuses. But the struggle is real and it's still there and it never goes away. And I would just love to normalize that for people.
mhm,
So everybody remembers that your struggle might be a little bit, it's going to be specific to you because it's in your home with your people and whatever is going on within your environment. That's going to be your struggle. And
mhm,
that's what you have to overcome. That's your own little hill that you have to climb over. And
mhm.
you actually can't be successful unless you do struggle. It's like a chick coming out of an egg, man. You ever seen that? They're busting. It's unbelievable. Um, what comes up for you as I say this? You
Because
agree?
I do, and what's funny is that we all struggle in all aspects, right? For me, 4 years sober, let alcohol go,
Cheers.
grew up
Congrats.
homeless in high school. Like I'm a whole story. So when people say, tell your story, I'm like, well, hell, how much time do you have? You know, what I guess I'm trying to say is that for those out there that are on day 1 or 5 or 8 that are struggling, they have overcome something. And if you can relate it back to that and say, how did I do that? Okay, maybe I can adopt that same grit, that same, strength that I had to overcome this and learn. It we all learn from the struggle, not the easy part, right? I,
Mm,
I remember the hard times, the good times, yeah, but the hard times is really where the lesson was. So I do agree with that. I do. And it's okay to struggle. It's okay. It's okay to
mm.
fail. Like I tell my kids, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook wasn't his first thing. He failed many times. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, they all failed, you
Yeah.
know, to get
And
where they
and
are.
those are not even the good stories. The good stories are the ones you know what, honestly, the great stories are the ones that we hear every day on this show. These are the best
Yeah.
entrepreneur stories I've ever heard. I'm
Mhm.
serious, because it's that real raw. I'm right at the beginning, and it's so beautiful and refreshing and powerful to listen to the new struggle, like that new struggle, because it's that's the most important part, is that if you can overcome the struggle at the beginning,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it's an oily wet slide downhill after that. It
Mhm.
really is. It's
Mhm.
not straight downhill, but you can get a cruising speed. But
Right.
90% of people or let me just say this, of everybody who quits, who this doesn't work for,
Mhm.
they all quit really early.
Yes.
Hardly any of them ever even tried or continued, and there's some of you who are, and I'm going to challenge some of you right now, and I want to carefront you, not confront you. There's some of you here who have been wanting to get started for many months but haven't, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about inaction. I'm talking about action. And there's a real first you got to separate those who are taking action and those who are taking no action. And inaction is just we're at step 0. We're not even at step 1. But everybody has to struggle, and it's absolutely imperative. You must. It's there is no way around it. And so if we could just normalize that for everybody, and everybody could remember that there is going to be a struggle, it should be hard, it should be uncomfortable at the beginning, then I think that's going to serve us all a lot better. What has going through and then getting started with something so fast versus how much longer you've experienced students and probably yourself needing to be educated or be in school before you get started with something? What has that been like? And has that challenged any belief systems about education and everything that you've had for many years, now that you are yourself getting started fast? You also learned from others here in our community, but also a 9th grade dropout. So I'm not a professor of any kind, don't have doctorates, don't even have a high school degree. What about coming from the education industry? What can you share with the people here who are maybe skeptical that this is a legitimate way to learn and a legitimate career to earn?
I'm glad you asked that, because education in any facet, from a 9-month program all the way up to a 4-year degree, anytime you go into something and you listen and you get something from it and you walk away, there was value in that. And I'll explain. The best way I can sum it up, and I heard someone say it and I thought, ding, 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 was that I got a degree because that's what you're supposed to do. Listen, I'll be 50 in December. So, coming up back then, it was, go get a degree, get a corporate job. I did everything I was supposed to do. But to sum it up, is that the business classes that I took were from people who had never owned a business. They had never made money from business. They made money as a professor, but had never experienced, what it's like to really get out there and grind and earn money and make a business and build a business. And I say that to say, I would rather, just personally, learn from someone who's been there, done that, has shown success, and has been able to articulate step by step what you need to do to be successful. I'm going to learn from that guy or girl. So for people that say, well, I went to college, but I still don't understand. Listen, I left college not knowing a damn thing. I business degree, don't know how to start a business. You know what I mean? It's like, and I only learned, but you know what, right?
Yeah, no, it's hilarious. It is something.
It is, but you don't know that then. You know it now, but you don't know it then. And you think, I got this degree, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Tara's cracking me up in the comments. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
Jeez. Oh, right there on the screen. I have 3 shit degrees and 100K in student loans and a shitty job that doesn't appreciate me. Golly. I'm sorry.
That should be a slogan, man. I mean,
it really could. A headline, that's a headline. Wow.
Yeah.
You should turn that comment into a headline right there on your capture page, on your landing page. Wow, the call to action right there. See how I changed that, download the free training video.
That's awesome.
And see how I'm working, making money and working from home now, And even if you're not working from home yet, do you work from home? Are you working from home when you're working on your business? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So now you're working from home. Stop overthinking stuff.
Mhm.
Um, we really have all of the marketing genius right inside of us, and sometimes we it comes out in some of the oddest places, and sometimes it's like, oh my god, that's brilliant. I think one of the most important things about learning for me is when I come up with an idea, or I'm not shot down. I think so many times in people, especially when we're children, we were creative and we came up with ideas, but we weren't really encouraged to think freely, and we weren't really encouraged to dream or be creative. It was kind of like color in the lines. I used to bring my math teacher um, a, 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 the answer to the problem. I just solved it differently than she did, and I got a wrong answer. But I got it wrong, but I got the same answer. So I had some bad experiences with traditional education, and almost lost my that creative sort of critical thinking part of myself.
Mhm.
But I think that it's really empowering when, just like with that example right there, I think it was Tara posted that comment that was an interesting, funny comment. That was, and it's so true, and it relates so much. Turn that into a headline. Test that to encourage somebody when they're showing creativity, and when they're for me, that's really important, to be in a community like that. And I wonder if you could speak to what you're experiencing here, and how that may be similar or different from other things in the past, other learning experiences.
It's completely different. Just to speak to the community now that I'm involved with Legendary, is completely different. I remember being on a Zoom call. There's 30 people on it. Everybody wants their little 30 seconds of fame on the Zoom call in corporate. You know how that is. We're all talking over each other. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But your ideas were shot down. If you ever thought outside of that corporate box, it was like, Kristie, because I was always that one. I was
Yeah,
always
yeah, yeah.
the oddball because,
Right. I can tell, like, ideas out the yin yang, and
oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, go get her.
Like, there goes that Kristie in Vegas again.
She's over there doing the most again. She's doing the most again. Yeah,
So
I see it. I get it. I get it. I'm like that
man,
too, man. My
but
dad's
my
like that
ideas,
too. We asked him to go over to my house yesterday and, like, just attach like two screws to the wall, and like we get there 3 hours later, and he's like, he's like, he's going on fixing every other goddamn thing in the room, and it's like, you always want to do the most, man. We just ask you to do two screws, but continue.
yeah, pretty much. So being in this community, it's you're able to you know, be authentic in yourself and not judged. It's been a great experience for me to be able to just open up and be accepted, and people who genuinely want to help you. They're like, Kristie, you've lost your damn mind. What are you thinking? Instead, they're like, well, let's see what we can do to kind of, put that square peg in a round hole. It's a whole different mindset and thought process that I'm in. And for anybody who is on the fence about making money online, or who's in it and stuck on the first 5 days, if I can say anything, is power through it and understand that you are more creative than you even know you are. You've just been muted for so long, you don't kind of know how to navigate those things. To me, the greatest fear has always been to not give something my all, and to learn to be yourself.
Hmm.
Someone asked me the other day, what the hell does that mean, be yourself? And I'm like, you know, it's stopping it's the inability. I think, like when you're talking, right? Like, I was nervous coming on this, and I thought, you know what? Listen, be yourself. And this is me. I'm generally just wacky and out there, and I usually speak before I think, but it wasn't always like that. it was like, let me think before I say that. Am I going to offend somebody, or is someone going to not understand me? And then I thought, hell with it. I'm
Yeah.
going to say how I feel. And it's really worked in this business for me, because it's
Yeah.
like, here I am,
Right.
this is who I am.
Well,
So go ahead.
yeah, it works. It works to be willing to share
Mhm.
thoughts and be willing to try a creative idea. I mean, it's just that you're willing to try new
Mhm.
things. It's so important. It's so powerful. And yes, letting yourself be your. It's kind of like it's hard to communicate this without hurting people's feelings, but we have to be truthful about what works in marketing these days. And what works is fast, get to the point,
Mhm.
give them a laugh, give them a nugget, and give them a call to action.
Mhm.
And it's like wham bam, thank you ma'am. It's transactional humor, it's transactional value. And that's it. And you're I mean, we are in a swipe left, swipe right community, society right now.
Mhm.
And so nobody gives a shit about you or me. Is
Mhm.
all people care about is 15 seconds of value or 15 seconds of entertainment.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so me sitting here giving any more than two shits, if I give more than two shits is all I'm allowed to give
Yeah.
about what somebody really cares about, how I sound,
Mhm.
what fucking shirt I have on, how my hair is combed or whatever. Any more than two tiny little rabbit shits is
Mhm.
too much,
Yeah.
because they don't give a flying fuck about me. They don't
Right.
care. They don't care.
Mhm. It's true.
And we get so self-absorbed and so self-important and so
Mhm.
self-conscious. And I know, I get it. I've been there. I still struggle with it.
Mhm.
No, but you know what? You're a fucking 15-second trailer to somebody. They don't
Mhm.
get your money and stop giving a shit. And I think that some of this comes maybe with like for me, look, I got two little kids at home. I don't give a fuck about I about nobody. I'm it is so much work to have small kids.
Mhm.
So much, and we got a nanny and we got a lot of things. But I don't have time to worry
Mhm.
about what the rest of the world thinks, man. I'm trying to keep
Mhm.
these kids alive. I'm trying to keep these kids fed, and play with them and teach them some things.
Yeah.
And here's another thing that I did. If you've got a particular platform, or you've been doing something that causes you a bunch of stress and headache, like for example, like I was posting a lot on my personal Facebook profile where I had like tons of friends and family and shit, and or at least I was connected to. And like 2 years ago, I was like, we started doing this show 2 years and some change ago, and I was like, this particular Facebook profile does nothing but add stress to my life, like this one right here. And so what I did was I just started doing the show every day.
Mhm.
And that became my content strategy. And I haven't posted on my personal Facebook or Instagram page because I was giving too much of a shit there. I was giving too much of a shit. And I don't have time to give a shit.
Mhm.
And so I think that um I think that the less we, and this is another thing that's one of those kind of head scratchers, but the less we seem like we care,
Mhm.
the more successful we are. And the less, right? And
Mhm.
it's not that the less that we it's the less desperate we are. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And the less that we care about what people think, that's what people think, not the less that we care, but the less that we care about what people think, the more successful. And that's oftentimes why people love people is, hey, they say what they want, what they want to say. And so it's hard to break through that initial, what feels like wrap, like spider web around me. Like I'm so afraid of what people are going to think. But what my advice is minimize some of the contact with friends and family at first. Minimize some of that contact because that's a lot to not care about what they think. So minimize that explaining, or minimize the expectations that you have on them. Minimize all that contact and focus on your new cold audience that you're building. And that is where you really can find a lot of freedom. And even it's fairly therapeutic, I've found, as an addict who's been telling my story publicly for over 10 years, a recovering addict. I've also found it fairly therapeutic, and it's helped my sobriety to talk openly about some of the things that are a bit more personal in my life. And so I found freedom from all of that self-judgment, or a lot of freedom from when I started. What's coming up for you, and where are you at in the journey of not caring? And just piggyback on what I said.
I don't care what people think. And that took years to get there. It's funny that you even mentioned friends and family, because we went on vacation to Kansas, to my husband's, where he's from, Wichita, and his sister was there, and she asked me what I was doing, because I'm not in corporate anymore, and oh my God, what are you doing? I mean, are you lost? It's just, and I found it annoying to even have to explain to her what I was doing. I was like, oh, I'm making money online now. Well, how are you doing that? It's like, I got annoyed at even,
Yeah.
it's nothing. Like, I just didn't want to mess with it, but I'll go and talk to someone I don't know about it, because I just feel like the prejudge isn't there, or, the questions of, whatever. But
Yeah.
I guess for me, that when you say, it's good to come across as, I don't really care what people think, because more people are curious about how you got there to not care than they are in the time you spend caring what people think. And, all of that resonates with me. I mean, I have tons of advice, only because of all I've gone through. It doesn't matter what people think. Find your tribe. And when you find your tribe of people, that's when you're genuinely helping people. And I think some of the most successful people that I've seen on this platform truly are open about who they are. If you really listen and watch their content, they legitimately are, I don't give a shit. This is who I am. This is what I've gone through. This is what this has done for me. But it's been ugly, messy, and chaotic to get there. And it's okay.
Yeah.
So you're giving other people that hope. My tribe definitely isn't a group.
It's entertaining too.
Oh, yeah.
It's entertaining too, to tell people the various sides of you in your life. Okay. It's entertaining to give people all those various, so all the things that you might be afraid to talk about in your content, the struggle, the challenge. I was writing a script for this video yesterday, and I multiple times throughout this 7-minute script, I went up and down in the story, creating these moments where it seemed like everything was all going to be good, but then we met another challenge. And I probably did 2 or 3 of those in this 7-minute script. And it really adds. It's just like a movie. Just when you think the person's going to get away, they're met with another obstacle, and people want to get their entertainment from the internet these days. Even when we have the TV on, we still have our phone in our hands a lot of times. And so, right, nailed every single one of you, because I do it too. My wife does it too. We sit. It's what humans do. What, you don't do that? Ugh. It's kind of like, I mean, who doesn't do that now? Who doesn't have multiple TVs on in their house with phones and, Sonos radio playing and every, I swear to God, my wife has walked in sometimes on me with the Sonos radio, TV playing, phone in my hand. She's like, you need a break from technology. You know what I mean? Because I'm like and it's
Yeah.
like, this is where people want to get their entertainment is and their value is on the internet. And I actually believe we're in the give me your opinion on this. I believe that we're in the middle of a massive gold rush, and it happens to be digital. And the problem is hardly anybody really knows how to capitalize on it. And
Mhm.
we're doing our best here to teach people,
Mhm.
and even still some people are skeptical. But I believe we're in this modern day gold rush, and there's so much money to be made, whether you're whether you're selling picks and shovels or you're actually going and mining gold. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot like, for us, we're selling picks and shovels. We're selling tools and education to people trying to do things. And
Mhm.
so, we're kind of, all these people are coming online, they're looking for gold all over the internet, and they need to know how to do things. And here
Mhm.
we are, using the core four courses, coaching, events, or affiliate marketing, selling them information on how to do things, and they're
Mhm.
eating it up. People are buying, that's what they want. And
Mhm.
so, in the middle of this modern day, what I believe is a gold rush, in what happened in 2020 with the lockdowns and everything that went down,
Mhm.
only opened everybody's eyes to that.
Mhm.
And so, here you find yourself now actually taking action
Mhm.
in the doing the thing that you probably envisioned yourself, or were even freaked out about. Look
Mhm.
back to your week one self and say, what do you know now? What, and also, how would you grade your confidence in terms of how much more confident you feel now
Mhm.
compared to whether it be the first week of your learning or the first week of your marketing?
Oh, I would. I was a D, an F when I first started in confidence and the ability to do this. I'm now, you know, an A. I mean, listen, everything starts with learning. I don't care what it is. A baby learns to crawl, learns to walk, learns to dance, learns to ride a bike. You learn, you learn, you learn. And so I had no confidence going into this. Are you kidding me? I was like, what the
Mm,
heck just happened?
mm,
But what the training did for me, what it did for me was showed me, one, it's possible. I try in my videos to get that across, that you can call it what you want, and you know what people call it. You can call it what you want, but those people are still stuck in fear. They would rather say, no, this isn't possible, than to say, but what if it is? So
right.
the training for me, as the days kept progressing, man, I was like, I can do this. I went from not knowing how to build a sales funnel to now helping people do it. I went from thinking nobody wants to hear my story, nobody really, who's going to pay attention to me, to people paying attention and
Mm,
and me helping. So, confidence F when I started, and A now. It's possible, you can do this. And I'm not going to mention, but 2020 changed the
mm,
game. I remember lockdown
did.
happened and we picked our desktops up. It was pandemonium here in Vegas.
Yeah.
We picked our desktops up, moved our offices to our homes, and nothing changed. We turned our education into an online education format. So
Yeah.
we were no longer going to the campus. Everyone was learning online, and we had to build an
Yeah.
online curriculum right away. My
Yeah.
point is that, yes, we are in the middle of a digital era. Yes, we are now more open to the thought process that these side hustles, or whatever you want to call them, no longer have to be a Lyft or an Uber or a pizza delivery guy. That, at the end of the day, you can do it right here, and that people do want to learn this, and it's game changing. It's life changing,
Yeah.
It, the other just I have to get this out because it means everything. So my 3 children, I have 2 boys and a girl. My youngest is high functioning autistic, and he's an incredible kid, like just an incredible kid. But there were times when I worked corporate, I'd lift up my laptop and he'd go, "Oh, you're working again." You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
became a thing and it bothered him. And so when I left corporate, that's why being
No,
home meant everything.
our kids know how to push our buttons too, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
just both anger us and just make us sad as shit. I mean,
ex-
just, you know.
yeah. You want to push him through the wall, but then you want to hug him after. It's like, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
he said to me the other day, I said, "Hey, do you like mom being home?" And he said, "Mom, I love it. And you seem so much happier." And it was so, yeah, it was so authentic. And I thought that alone,
Yeah.
that alone gives me more confidence and courage to keep going, to keep doing what I'm doing. And I wish people would take those subtle hints in their life to say that you don't have to continue to work for someone and make their dream come true. And you go in, you work these hours, you get paid, and that's all you get. And maybe a 25-cent raise. That's what I used to get, and accepted it. So that'll tell you my confidence. I accepted that shit. But now it's like endless possibilities. And I wish people would just take the little hints in life, whether it's a kid, whether it's a friend or family member or whatever, to say, I don't have to live in a box, and every day what you're doing is affecting the people closest to you. I didn't realize how miserable I was until I realized how miserable I was. So this whole thing has been a confidence booster. And anyone that says it isn't possible, that's on you. That's on you, because it is. It's so possible to make money online, no matter what it is you decide to do. Create an
Yeah.
e-course, create an ebook. I created an ebook. That was crazy, but I did it. I
Yeah.
couldn't do that before this. I couldn't do it. And I did it. So people just, believe in yourself and know that you deserve freedom. You deserve it. You deserve the opportunity to have a friggin' life. You deserve it. You deserve it.
Yep. You do. I'm not going to ask you to say anything more. That was absolutely wonderful and a great place to plant our flag for this week. And there is nothing more to say. I mean, absolutely wonderful, powerful. Tell your son we loved hearing about him. And, we are all inspired by your energy and your story and your tenacity and your perseverance. And, you are just, and it's amazing because you somebody made some comment earlier. I think I can't remember what it was, but I briefly saw it about only seems like only pretty ladies succeed with this. And it's like, it's so absolutely amazing to talk to a human being and not look at their outsides, but
Mhm.
hear what's going on their insides, to hear their thoughts, to hear their emotions and their feelings. And what that does when we really, really listen to somebody, we realize that you know we realize that this is not about looks. This is not about anything external. This is not about it's about your heart. It's about your willingness to try. It's
Mhm.
about really 1000% who and what you have on the inside.
Mhm. Mhm.
1000% what you have on the inside. And
Mhm.
if any of you are sitting around and you're wondering, hey, is it, Is it me? Is there something flawed about me? There's not. You may just be focusing too much on the outside
Yep.
and not enough on the inside, because this is an inside job. And it's important for us to know ourselves, who we are, and also to recognize all of the humanity and the struggle in other people as well. Because when we speak and we market from the heart, we reach the heart, and that's one of the things that it's hard to teach. That it's hard to, talk, because everything's so transactional. We have such a transactional society, and 1 + 1 should equal 2, but it doesn't always work like that. And that's one of the reasons why we do the show every morning instead of just the course or the training, because there's an element that you can't see. It's called your spirit, and it's called your human nature, that we all must have in both put out and also look to receive back when we're on the internet, because we're not face to face. So that, we can't touch and feel. So that becomes all the more important. So just everybody keep that in mind as we move into the weekend, and you're looking at all these people, or you're finding yourself getting into comparisonitis. Just keep reminding yourself it's an inside job.
Absolutely.
So,
Right.
yeah.
I'll be quiet.
Yeah. It's such a powerful thing when we really, when we realize what it really takes. And it has nothing to do with your looks, and it has nothing to do with and I'm not talking about getting a foot in the door. Come on. Getting the foot in the door is very different than succeeding long term. And that takes real determination, drive, and dedication. And so I'm looking forward to hearing you back, if you'll be willing to come back on another episode and continue to show us and continue to help us to understand how you're doing this, even if it's not pretty, even if it's not graceful all the time, even if it's crazy, scary, and uncomfortable. That, hey, you know what, you're on this journey, and it's going to take you somewhere. And we just want to be on the ride with you to see where you go. And so, thanks for your time today, really.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm so grateful that I'm on here and you invited me. This has been fantastic. This has been life-changing for my family and I. So thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. We'll talk to you later. Okay.
Bye.
See you. All right, my friends, we will see you later. And by later, I mean, for those of you who are coming to the virtual mastermind, I mean, we're doing things around here that sometimes I don't even remember it's like. But again, I told you at the beginning of the show, I don't really know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to do until I wake up that morning. Sometimes I look at my calendar. Sometimes I look at my wife. Sometimes they both look back at me, right, and say, where are you supposed to be? But I know where I'm supposed to be tomorrow, and that is at our virtual mastermind. So if you're going to be there, okay, and you have a mastermind ticket and you want to attend that, that is a bonus for anybody who has a mastermind ticket. We're going to be putting on a virtual mastermind, and we've been emailing and we've been communicating about that. If you want to know how to attend that, if you have or have bought a mastermind ticket in the past, just email customer support at legendarymarketer.com. Ask your advisor, but support is usually where you should go. And besides that, we'll see you back here on Monday for another episode at 10 a.m. Eastern time, just like we do every single weekday. And I want to thank Kristie again for an absolutely amazing show. Get out there. Peace.